The very first thing that what is the overview, what all we have here in the writing. So over here, there is a minimum to maximum word count. Okay, what's that? You are going to divide this as 20 minutes for your task 1, 40 for the task 2. You can see it is a double. Why is it double? Cause, hello everyone, in this video, we'll see some of the crucial tips which we can utilize in order to solve our writing task 1 and task 2. So without a further ado, let's get started with the video. The very first thing that what is the overview, what all we have here in the writing tasks. So firstly, here you get the total time to be 60 minutes. That's your total time. Okay, the 60 minutes you get for both of your tasks, task 1 as well as task 2. Okay. Now, what's that word count? Since it's full-fledged report writing, full-fledged essay writing, you guys will have to write essays, reports, letters. So over here, there is a minimum to maximum word count. Okay, what's that? So 150 plus words should be there for your task 1, be it reports, be it letters. Over here in the task 2, you have it as 250 plus words. Okay, and out of the 60 minutes, how do you divide these? You are going to divide this as 20 minutes for your task 1, 40 for the task 2. Okay, that should be the bifurcation of your 60 minutes. Later, you have it as task 2. Now, this task 2, once we see, it's called an essay writing. Now, this is more crucial. How? It actually weighs double once you see then the task 1. Okay, in scoring. You can see it is a double. Why is it double? Because in the task 1, you have it as minimum word count to be 150 words only. But over here, you have to write 250 to be the minimum words. That is why it counts double. So guys, you need to see that while writing your task 2, please give this 40 minutes only, not more than that. If you go on writing and if you, let's suppose, go on writing in this 20 minutes, if you, let's suppose, give more than 20 minutes to your task 1, then you will not or never be able to accomplish this 40 minutes. Okay, this essay writing, this actually demands a proper 40 minutes. So I will even suggest that if you can complete your task 1 into 15 minutes and can give this one 45, so it can be a really helpful thing for you. Okay, try doing this. Now let's just understand what are the criteria, what's that criteria of ours we have, what are our parameters we have. On the basis of that, we'll be getting bands. Let's just discuss that. The very first thing, we have it as task achievement and response. So they will check how fully have you responded to the task. So that's your first parameter. Later you have it as coherence and cohesion. So we will see, have you written everything logically? Have you written your ideas sequential? Are they sequential or not? Are they following a particular order or not? Or you are just messing up all over in the single para, right? So you must follow the format. It should all be logical and coherent. Understood? Later, it's called lexical resource. What do we mean with this? The kind of words you use, okay? The words, that means vocabulary of yours. You need to use good words over here. Later is grammatical range and accuracy. You will be assessed upon the grammar of yours. So try to focus onto that. Try to create more and more conjunctions in between, connectors in between, so that you can write complex structures rather than writing the simple sentences. Okay, try to use these keywords in between of your write-ups. Okay. Now, these are your 4 parameters. On the basis of them, you will be getting bands. Now, be it your task 1, task 2, these are the 4 parameters you have on which you will be assessed. Now, later, we have it as our task 1. What about the task 1? We have, see, the task 1 here for the academic, you guys will be having the report writing. Okay, you will be having it as report. Now, what do we understand with reports? You can have any kind of graphs, charts, table, map, or processes. Over here, you can see it as visual description. You will need to represent whatever the data has been given to you. It can be 1, it can be 2, it can be 3 as well at times. But you just need to see what's there in front of you, and you then have to write it, everything down in the paragraph format. You have to write it that coherently that even if somebody who's not there, even if somebody who has not seen the graph can understand it fully what's happening in the graph. That's how you have to write it. Now, next is focus. Where is your focus over here? You have to focus on writing the overview, the key trends, the comparisons, always while writing. And no opinion or conclusion is needed over here. Why don't you need any opinion over here? Because it's all about the factual description. You will always be writing it in third person. You will never be writing it in first person. You can't write such words like, in my opinion, I think, I believe, all these, right? It should all be written in the third person. The graph says, the illustration depicts, okay, like that. It's just the factual description. Nothing on your own you have to do. Just describe whatever is given over there. Now, what all types it has? So these are the types. Bar chart you can have, line graph. So in 11th standard, 12th standard, 10th standard, if you have studied statistics in your subject, you must be very aware about these graphs, right? What are they? Bar, line, pie chart, table, map, process diagrams can be there, flow chart can be there, or a combination of the charts can be there, in which you can have a one pie chart, one line graph, like that. A combination of two or more graphs can be there. Now, what all you need to do? You need to take care of your format, that your writing is accurate. Okay, whatever the data you're picking up, whatever the comparisons you're making, it should all be accurate. Let me show you the task one for the general candidate. That's for the academic one. Let me show you for the general one. You guys will be having it as letter writing. Now, you can have a formal letter to write, semi-formal, or an informal. So depending upon the question you get, you will have to write it. Now, it mostly follows the same format, but then there are minor differences there in semi-formal or informal or formal type of letters, but then it mostly follows the same format. Let me show you the format now for the academic ones, okay? So this is the format. That's how you're going to write your reports. What's the format? Let's see. First, you will have it as intro para, in which you do nothing but just paraphrasing of the question. So whatever the question you had over there, just in order to understand that graph, what kind of a graph, whatever the kind of graph you've got, in order to understand that, so whatever the kind of graph you had, in order to understand what you've got, you need to read question properly. Once you read the question properly, you can see that what's happening over there, and you can ultimately paraphrase that question in your own language in the introduction para. That's your first paragraph. Later, following this, we will be having this overview paragraph. That's going to be very important para of yours. This has to always be there, that you have to always write this overview, in which you do nothing but summarize. Okay, now while summarizing, you need to talk about the key trends, the key changes it has, right? The main trends and the features. Over here, you don't have to use any data, so no data should be there. While writing, you have to write no data. Without using any data, you have to describe changes. That's how you're going to do. Now, next to the overview, we have the body one, in which you actually start describing the data, the figure of yours, whatever the kind of figure you get, you will actually start describing that over here now. Okay. Describe the key data, the changes, but while describing, use the data wisely, that you are combining all together, you're grouping the data. That's very much needed over here. Later to that is body 2 we have, in which we do the same things but for the remaining features of that graph, right? We divide it into two paras, body 1, body 2, the same graph you get. Okay, that's your format going to be there. Later to that is about what are the crucial tips I have for you all for your task 1. So see, first is that learn to paraphrase and learn to use synonyms. Okay, how do you paraphrase, how do you use keywords? It's really crucial, right? Instead of repeating words, you need to use paraphrasing language, you need to use synonyms over there. Repetition isn't allowed anywhere in all the 4 sections of IELTS. Next to that is that always include an overview, which is very important. It's pivotal to write overview all the time. Never ever miss this paragraph. Now, use data grouping. Don't use or don't list every number. Even a kid can write that way. If you start writing each and every number over there, instead of that, try grouping data, try clubbing all together the similar details. Later, avoid copying the task statement. Exactly, you are just copying the task question of yours in the intro paragraph. That's not going to help you out. You have to change some words, irrespective, regardless of changing the meaning. You just have to you just have to paraphrase the question. That's it. Using different language, but not changing the meaning. Now use varied sentence structures over here and don't describe data mechanically. Identify patterns over there. Don't just describe data like this, but identify what all types of pattern you have over there. Okay, guys. Now, next thing we have is that what kind of words can we use for our reports? So these are some of the words we can use. See, increase steadily, rise sharply, decline gradually. When something is declining slowly, so you can say decline gradually. Remain stable, which is not moving altogether, is stable at a point. Now, fluctuate, okay, peak. Now, reach a low point. These are some of the words you can use over there. Now, comparative language. What kind of language can you use? Slightly higher than, considerably lower than, by contrast, whereas, similarly. For overview, you can start writing overall, it is clear that. Okay, you just can't start like this. You have to have that statement first before writing. Now, the most noticeable trends is, in general, we can see that. Like that, you can start writing your overview paragraph. That's about it. What more? Let's now come to the task 2, which is the essay writing, guys. Okay, this is it about it. We have seen the vocabulary, we have seen the pattern, we have seen the types of questions we are going to get. Okay, I hope these all things are clearer. I'll even tell you by the end of this video what are some of the crucial tips I've got for you all for the task 1 and the task 2. So let's just get towards the task 2 now, wherein we have the essay writing. We have to write essays, guys. Now, when I say essays, you can recall your time in childhood when you used to write essays, right? My hometown, my best friend, like that. But over here, unlike those times when we used to write, it was very simple then. But then over here, the complexities has got increased. How? Let me tell you. Over here, you have to write in minimum of the Yeah, so let's just see. We will be writing it in like the minimum of the 250 words. Okay, that's must. But max is 280. That's our limit. Okay, 280 is the limit. After to this is that marked on task response. Here you will be marked upon the task response, coherence, cohesion, vocabulary, grammar, all these things. It requires clear opinion, logical structures, and advanced language. Please notice, guys, that once you start on writing, you need to see that you're using clear vocabularies, you are using advanced structures, and you are using varied and you are putting your opinions right over there. So you have to put your opinions over here. Cause in essays, they will demand, they will ask you your opinions. What do you think on certain matters? So never ever get scared putting forth your opinions. Okay. Now, this is about it. The basic things we need to know here. Responding to a point of view, argument, or a problem can be there. Let me show you what all types of questions you have. So, over here, these are the 5 types of questions you see, wherein opinion-based types can be there, agree or disagree. They'll ask you whether by giving you. They'll ask you by giving you such situation that whether you agree to the contest or you disagree, right? So they'll ask you about that, whether you agree or disagree to something by giving you a certain situation. Now, next to that is we have as at discussion essays in which you have it as discuss both views and give your opinion, right? You will have 2 separate viewpointers and they'll ask you to discuss upon both of them, okay? Now, if this give your opinion things mentioned over there in your question alongside, then you'll have to mention your opinion in the separate paragraphs. That is body 3 you will have to make then. Now, the advantages, disadvantages they'll give you, and problem solution can be there. This might also come in the name of causes and effects. And then two-part direct questions can be there, in which they'll ask you some things like, tell me, is this a positive or a negative? And they'll give you the reason solution, like problem solution alongside. So they will merge altogether, two types altogether. Yeah. So these are all the types. They will mostly ask your opinion, so never ever get scared or petrified putting forth your opinion, and never think that somebody will judge you anyhow. They will never. Okay, all what they'll check you upon are these parameters, what we discussed previously: task response, coherence, cohesion, vocabulary, and grammar. These all are the things you have to keep in mind always while writing. Use good words, use good grammatical structures, and it should all be logical, and you are completing. Make sure that you are completing the task response, whatever the questions ask. Okay. Now, later to that is, let's understand what's the format we have to follow for all the types of questions. So here is the very first para we have to make, which is the intro para, in which we do nothing but paraphrasing again, right? We do paraphrasing, that too for the question. We'll just paraphrase the question thoroughly. Then after, we'll not only just paraphrase like report writing, we just used to paraphrase and we were done with our intro. But here we'll also have to do several other things. What are they? We'll have to express our viewpoint. Okay. Viewpoint, when I say, it depends actually. Let's suppose if you have got it as agree or disagree. So it is or there in between. So because of this or mentioned, you have to take a single side. On the contrary, if this is not mentioned but and is mentioned, so that means both. Okay. Always consider these two, or and. If this is there, you have to choose one. If this is there, you have to choose or both. Like both these sides you have to go. That's why it depends. If this is or mentioned over there in the question, you'll have to take a single stance. Otherwise, you have to talk about both of them. But in the comprised way, in the viewpoint. Later comes to thesis statement, which is very important. Like over there, we had the overview paragraph. That was really crucial to write. Over here, we have it as thesis. We have to always write thesis. That states actually that what all we are going to cover in our following paragraphs. That states the thesis. Next, body 1, in which we start writing about our ideas, whatever we made about that topic. We support them by giving an example. Okay, we elaborate our ideas and then we support them with example. Later comes the body 2. We do the same with the second viewpoint by giving examples. Please note that examples are important to be there in both of your body paragraphs. Never ever skip them. Okay. Next to that is conclusion, wherein we do nothing but summarizing our own pointers, whatever we stated previously. And later to that is just restating our opinion that that's what we believed and that's how and that's why we believe that. Okay, that's how you're going to do it. So I hope format is much clearer. We can now move ahead towards understanding what are the strategies I have for you all, okay, for this particular writing task. So plan for 5 minutes before you begin on writing. Write clear topic sentences. Use complex structures. When I say complex structures, you need to use conjunctions. Okay? Use conjunctions, use connectors all the time while writing. Never ever skip. Now provide specific examples. Okay? Always provide examples to support your point, to support your viewpoint. Always give evidence. Now, next to that is maintain balance and logical flow while writing. And now avoid repetition, paraphrase all the time while writing things. Use formal academic tone of yours. Now, these are all the things. Now, what is the kind of vocabulary I have for you all? So, while providing your opinions, from my perspective, I firmly believe that it is often argued that there is no doubt that. These are some of the words, phrases you can start using. Now, linking devices are very important. These are some cohesive devices you can use. So, these are like moreover. Now, when do you have to use them? Whenever you have to state your opinion. Whenever you have to add further info to something, you can say moreover instead of and. You can say furthermore, in addition to that. Okay. while writing, even while saying. On the other hand, consequently, that means in the result. Now, in contrast, therefore, in addition, these are some. Later is high level advanced verbs you can use, like mitigate. Mitigate means to lessen something. When we want to say to lessen something, we can say mitigate. Now, exacerbate, like to worsen something, facilitate, to help, foster, hinder. While stating conclusion, you can say to sum up, to encapsulate. Okay, the advanced words you can use while writing your concluding paragraph. Next to that is some common mistakes. Let's just see that. Repeating ideas or phrases, not coming up with paraphrasing language, but just repeating those similar phrases, similar things which we have got in the question, or maybe in your opinion, just repeating words. Okay, writing too generally, no examples you're providing, using informal language like kids, a lot of, and overusing memorized templates. Never ever do this mistake, guys. Never ever memorize anything. Go with the flow. Start thinking, start generating your own innovative ideas, right? Now, poor time management can be one of the crucial aspects. So, incomplete essay results from improper management of your time. Always try and manage time properly. Whatever I provided you, the details, out of your 60 minutes, you have to provide 20, 40. You have to divide it like this to your tasks 1 and 2. Next to that is final tips for the Band 8 Plus. What are some of the final tips I have got for you all? Are going to go like this. So please start practicing under the timed condition wherein you are providing turning on the timer like this and then writing your task. Now focus on the clarity over complexity. Don't go over complexities. Try writing clearly and logically. That's what's needed. Next is review high band samples regularly. And next to that is get feedback from reliable sources. Expand your topic specific vocabulary. It's going to be really helpful if you go on searching for the vocab like environment. These are some of the themes, education, technology, etc. Now revise grammar and punctuation accuracy. Always do the revision. Once you're done writing, always revise your own write-up once again. Okay, next is that key takeaways are your structure is equals to success. A successful structure, that means the proper structure you have to use. If your essay is fully structured, you can definitely get a good band. Now, vocabulary equals to precision. You have to use proper words at the proper time. Now, clarity plus logics equals to band 8 plus. If you are clear with your things, whatever you're putting forth, definitely you'll get 8 plus band. Now, task achievement matters more than length, that you completing the task. Don't just focus over the length. Now, practice consistently and review your errors, not just quantity. You have to increase accuracy. You have to focus upon analyzation. The more you analyze and the more you focus on your mistakes and improve them, definitely you will get a higher band. So these are some of the key takeaways. And yes, guys, I am done with my video here with all the crucial tips I had for you all. Now, I hope definitely you'll improve and implement all of them, whatever we have discussed so far. So stay tuned. We'll meet you very soon in my upcoming video. Thank you so much for watching.